Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought another fantastic group of guests. And please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And without further ado, let's bring on our co-host, this gentleman right here.
What is up, Streamland? I am JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics. Been publishing comic books more years than I want to count. And ready to hang out with everybody, talk books, and hopefully, you guys can see the folks that are out there putting their money where their mouth is, believing in themselves, and making creator-owned content today.
There you go. What's up, Josh? Introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. So Josh from Cutthroat Comics out of Findlay, Ohio. I am able to count the years I've been doing comics. We've been going since 2015, so it's only 8 years now. But
nice.
I think we've done pretty good. I like to say that we're Ohio's most offbeat publishing company. I haven't found any other publishers that do the weird stuff we do. Do comics, novels, children's books, more or less whatever we want to do. Since I own the company, I can do what I want.
Nice.
Yes, very nice. Now, it's not so much that we can't count, we don't want to. It's been that many years. We just don't want to. What's up, Johnny? Please introduce yourself.
Johnnie Reed. I'm one half of Atrocity Press Comics and also owner of Brute Squad Entertainment, comics and toys.
Nice.
Cool.
Hey, I'm Brandon Starocki. I'm the creator and writer of Avalon.
Cool. That was short and sweet.
Yeah. I'm Max Devill. I am the other half of Atrocity Press. This side over here, atrocitypress.com. You can drop by there. You can check out all of our social media links. You can check out our all the news goes there first before it hits social media. So that's where you need to be looking at for us. If you want to find us, it's right there.
Nice.
All right, nice. And our Coco host is a couple seconds late. Sorry about that, Marcus.
No problem. Co-host Marcus McNeal here, editor-in-chief and founder of Odyssey Comics.
All right, cool. All right, you know what, gentlemen? Let's jump right into it. All right, let's.
Before we jump right into it, can I commend Max for getting his pointer right? Because how many of us, just look at the screens on the wrong side and don't know where our titles are anywhere? I mean, is JD over here? Is Josh here? You know what I mean? And Max hit it. He hit it on the spot, baby.
he's done enough of these, so
It's the right hand.
There you go.
I know it's the right hand.
No, see, I'm using my right hand. I'm using my right.
Yeah.
For me, it's my right hand right here.
You see, the math is all fucked up on this shit.
All right.
Sad.
There you go. All right, so check it out. Let's start with this. So best practices, right? For bringing in new talent. We've all deal with talent. We all deal with artists, writers, illustrators, inkers, colorists, all these different people we got to deal with, right? And we have to vet them somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you guys do to vet your artists, or your other creators? It doesn't necessarily have to be, it could be a colorist, pencilers, inkers, doesn't even matter. It's like, what are you guys doing to vet? Let's start with Max.
What we do at Atrocity Press is we look at their portfolio to start with, and if that looks good, we have them do a test page, because we've been fooled before. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have them do a test page, and if it works out good, then we bring them on with a contract.
All right, cool. Now, when it comes down to like your test page, are you doing like you have them doing a splash? You're having them doing like a full 6 to 9 panels? Like, what are you looking for?
It depends on what they're going to be doing. If they're going to be doing cover work, we'll have them do a pinup. If they're going to be doing interior pages, we'll have them do a whole page of interiors. It's like, here's a script page. Do your thing. It'll be something that we've already done. So it's not something that we're going to use in the future, So we don't screw the artist like that.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Brandon, how do you
Yeah,
work?
it's very similar. I go on like Instagram or any kind of social media outlet that kind of people can like showcase their art. I'll look for art styles that fit the kind of style of story I'm telling, and if I like it, I'll message them. And then let's say they message back, we kind of figure it out. I tell them like what I'm working on. Then we do a concept page, and then after that, we start working details out with like pricing and all that stuff. After all that other stuff is met, but it's basically the same thing as he was saying.
All right, cool. Johnny, I mean, I know you work with Max, but I mean,
That's pretty much the same thing. I think that, some of the other things is a lot of times, people approach us all the time. That's one thing me and Max joke about. We're always getting messages from people. Hey, can you check out this? Can you check out that? And then there's also, when we see other Kickstarters or books we like, especially for cover artists, we'll reach out to them and be like, hey, what's your schedule like? Are you interested? So it's just a lot of back and forth, that way.
All right, cool. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar. I would add that for me as a writer, when I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm paying attention to what they say, how they say it, how quickly they respond, how eager they are to work. I'm just trying to pick up on any type of like red flags, I guess, as I would when I'm like in the dating apps and all that. But generally, for me, most of the artists I've worked for or worked with and hired and stuff, like it's people I've met at cons and stuff, so I get to feel them out there, see all their work and everything.
All right, cool. Now, Marcus, you're like the double triple threat. You have artists, colorists, and future I guess books you want to publish. So I mean, how do you vet?
You guys vet people? I'd take everyone at face value and just go from there. But this is a good question. I do the old fashioned thing, and I just stalk people. I follow them on socials, and I see what they're posting. I see what they work on. I see how often they're posting and updating, what they like conversating about, what they're into. But really, the truthfully answer it is I make sure that for everyone we bring aboard, whether it's for actually publishing a book or colorist or anything like that, I try to give them the opportunity to always have a one-on-one conversation with me. Get a good vibe for them, even if it's just a quick Discord call or something like that, just to see how it goes, as long as there's not a language barrier or anything like that, and get a feel for if they're, excited to work on it. And usually I have a pretty good nose for putting people on books, and I know which talents will pair well together. So far, we have not had any issues with that whatsoever for any of our titles. And generally that works out. So if people have, even if they don't have the best portfolio, sometimes if you can get them and have the conversation and have the one-on-one and be able to fill them out and know if they're right for the project, that can do a lot of heavy lifting in terms of knowing whether or not they're the right ones for it.
All right, cool, fair enough. Mr. Rosario, I know you're going into those deeper waters.
Yeah. So, I book them for a 100-page trade right out front, pay them up front, the entire fee, sit back and wait for the book to get done.
Easy.
How's that been working out for you?
I'll let you know when he gets his first amount of pages.
Still waiting on 17 books to get finished. Just like what everybody else is saying, you do a little test work, pinups, trading cards, stuff like that. Yes, you stalk them, you talk to people who have worked with them. But a lot of people recently have been coming through recommendations. So I've been lucky with that. And I try not to pay for everything up front. I do increments, a couple pages at a time, and do my best not to get burnt. But who hasn't, right? I mean, that my vetting process is based on how many times I've got burnt and try to keep from it repeating again.
Mm-hmm.
You live and you learn on that.
It, brother. That's it.
As a matter of fact, that's a part of this question too. All right. So to answer, I'm not too dissimilar to any of you guys. I vet people, and so I vet people for like 2 years almost. I'll hire them to do pinups. Then I have him do like a 3-page story, and then I'll move from there, and then we'll just work on it. But to follow up the question, I don't want to eat up Jay.
No. Follow up. I got nothing, baby. I'm blank. Go ahead.
Okay.
Shoot.
No. Because a creator that I know, and it's within the community, had hired a watch the finger quotes professional artist, someone who's done work at Marvel and DC. Finger quotes. Professional artist. Paid this person half their fee up front. Right? The person had told seemed to be excited. Said, "Hey, I'll get you some sketches in the next few weeks, whatever." Sketches never appeared. Months had gone by. This person totally ghosted them for at least 6 months. They were going through some stuff, so they didn't really have time to deal with this person. So they finally met up with them at a show, got half their money, waiting for the other half, cancel the order. Right? Now, how do you guys deal with that situation? Right? Like, how do you approach someone who is a professional comic book artist? Right? So, Brandon, what are your thoughts on that?
I knew that was coming to me first. I don't know why, but
well, I move it.
Yeah, no worries. Basically, it's just, you kind of, again, how a lot of people are saying here as well, you just feel them out a little bit. You're talking to them. You see, if there's like a fire under them, they like the project, they're interested. And then you pay for maybe that concept page. After that's done, then you kind of work out an agreement. You're working out the contract and figuring out how, what needs need to be met on both parties right there. I mean, me and the artist of Avalon came to an agreement. I think a very fair agreement that, I pay per page, completion. I started off way back then. It was, I gave him the money for the one page before, to kind of get going. And then after we kind of shifted towards every time he's done with a page, I pay him for the page or whatever it might be. And because we've been around with each other for quite some time now, we're not going anywhere. So we know that. But that's just basically it for me, I would say, and it's, I guess for the professional thing, I don't know. I'm a big person because I've always been a fan of like the film industry. I want to do all that stuff with, scripting and doing that. I don't want big name actors in my thing. So I kind of think of that in the same way I do the comic books. I don't want somebody who's already established. I want to build up together. I want to, have the story, the comic, and then the artist, everybody kind of build up together in that regard. So I don't know if I would reach out to somebody that's very well known or professional, as you say.
Right. I just do finger quotes because when somebody does something like that, I don't consider them professional. That's
right. No, right. No, I get it. That's
I just find them annoying. It's real shady. But I'm sorry, Johnny, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I mean, for us, Max kind of started this whole process. For us, we're really blessed because we pretty much have our own art studio. So we have our own artists that we just go to every single time. Now, we are starting to get ready to next year. We have 2 different titles that we're going to be hiring. But pretty much it's guys that have been established in the business. We've known them for years. And, I mean, you don't pay them the whole price up front.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
We did have, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, buddy.
We did have an artist that quit on us halfway through a book. And that sucked. Yeah. That sucked because that ended up costing us like $1,500.
Goddamn.
For nothing, because I'm not having another artist pick up and try to mimic his style.
Right.
Because that never works.
Right.
It never works.
So, and then he came back and wanted to come, and then he wanted to come back to work for us.
Yeah, then he wanted to come back.
Great.
I was like, no, you burn that bridge, buddy.
He didn't even give you like a good reason, like, I don't know, like I had to take care of my kids. Or,
no, the reason was that this place was paying more money and the job was shorter than the job. Like we don't pay. We pay it well, but we don't pay like ridiculous fees. Mm-hmm. And this art project that he was working on was paying better than we did, but it was a shorter project.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, do you take the more money for the shorter project, or do you take the shorter amount of money for the longer project, and he tried to play both sides of the aisle, and it didn't work out for him. He got burned.
There you go.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah,
And that's one thing that makes it a little bit different for us too,
Mhm.
because like right now we're currently running, 3 titles, and then we're adding, I think, at least 2. Well, we got 3, and then Fern is going to do 2 of his own under Atrocity Press, and then we have 2 more that Max and I are doing for next year. So
Yep.
coming next year, we're going to have like 6 titles. So like when you come on to Atrocity Press, there's always going to be work there. I mean, that's the one thing that really works for us in our favor. Nothing wrong with putting out a book a year, a book every 6 months, but that's not our business plan. We're right now kind of going to a point where I think we're going to be doing a Kickstarter about every month and a half right now for the next like 6 or 7 months. So it kind of, so it keeps us constantly, we're just moving. It's more of a machine at this point.
Mhm. I know how that feels.
Yeah. Which is great. It's great and sucks all at the same time.
Yes.
Listen, it's how I get my most dopamine is through Kickstarter.
Right.
Yep. Josh, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different takes I could go with. I mean, my first thought is when I was a young buck, I can't remember which book it was. I want to say it was like my 3rd or 4th book. I ran into a DC artist at a convention. This person was set up right behind me, and I was talking to them, and I was like, "Hey, how much for you to do a cover for me if you're available?" And the guy was like, "Oh, dude, I'll do it for free." And I was like, "Oh crap," So weekend was over, and like I got on Facebook, and I was like, "Hey, this DC guy's gonna work with me," and everybody was all excited. Never heard from him again. Emailed him several times, and I was always nice about it. And I was like, "Hey, I'm just checking in to see where you're at," and you have to be nice because you don't want to piss them off and then get a reputation for being a jerk or anything. But yeah, it's unfortunately you can't work with every single artist all the time, and that's what kills me is I know so many great artists and I want to get them on a cover or on a project, and it's like, I'll get you in 3 years, man. When I get
Yeah. I mean, here's the one thing I try to always stand by, and it's my word, right? Like if you tell me you're gonna do something, because if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I tend to really try to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because the only thing you have in this business is your word, your reputation.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Just like this show. If I tell you I'm gonna bring you on, I'm gonna get you on. And if I can't get you on, I'll do a damn one-on-one with you if I have to. Right? Whatever I have to do, if I make that commitment, I will commit, I'll do it.
But you never invite me for the show.
Yeah, but it's because I don't really like you. That's been my secret for a long time. No, Jay's awesome. So Marcus, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, this is actually something I ran into slightly a little bit before. And thankfully I got a pretty good bullshit detector. Usually within the first 7 to 10 seconds of knowing a person or meeting a person, I've already kind of made my determination there.
So you already knew about Jay.
Oh yes. Honestly, I credit it to my days like working in marketing back in the day. Like I used to when you talk to 300-400 human beings over the course of a day, you start to read personalities very quickly. And I had hired an artist that was with one of the big 2 to work on the project. And was going to go forward. We started with just like really taking things slowly and going conceptually, and even being a newer face at the time, I knew, hey, I'm not paying full for scope for the project. I'll pay 50% up front, and as you get each page done, I'll back the next 50, however the case may be. Really got to read for the person as far as their collaborative spirit, I guess you could say, how well they were taken to editorial remarks from both myself and the writer at the time. And we already saw there was enough friction at that point in time. And when it came time to commit on the project fully, that this is going to be an artist going forward, just from doing the pre-production phase, we saw that he wasn't going to be the person, even though artistically, stylistically, he was ideal for the project. Personality wise, and how they went about the business was not ideal for the project. And that's when we made the decision that we're not going to move forward with them, that we'll take care of them for services rendered and thank them very much and credit them for what they did and what they came up with. But when we need an interior artist, we need to find someone else.
All right, cool.
It happens sometimes.
Yep.
Mr. Rosario.
This is kind of weird because I don't like to look like a mark, right? I don't like to be somebody's payday, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not chasing a lot of those guys down. Whether they're C, B, A. I mean, none of us here are affording A-level talent. You know, but like Brandon, I'll grab the guys and the girls that are still looking to cut their teeth. You know, a lot of the people I have worked with, funny enough, have used me as a springboard. You know, there's a few guys who have names that are out there and they've done work with me before, which is awesome. I'm glad I still have good relationships with them. But you know, they're too busy to handle another workload assignment at the moment.
Yeah, cool. I don't know. I mean, for myself, I mean, like it's always a thing about, you know, I haven't approached like a big name professional. I have commissioned some things as shows, but you know, that's at a show. It's not like a piece where you get, you know, you get them on the side. So, I mean, it's a little difficult. So I mean, I don't know. I would think a thing is contractually, but I just find it galling that a person who refers to themselves as a professional would do that to a publisher, even if it's just a small publisher, but they're paying you. Right? And the thing is, you know, it's a cover. So it's something that's time sensitive that this person is looking to make money on, right? And there's potential if you get one, you're probably going to get two. If things work out, you might even get a third one, right? And referrals. Now, this person, whoever they may be, I'm not going to mention their name on air, word is gonna spread around, and nobody's ever gonna approach this person ever again. Or you know, I would definitely say approach with caution. You know, we all know each other, and we're gonna in the back channels. We'll be like, hey, don't deal with this person.
It's a little industry,
right?
Yeah.
Industry.
Yeah. And it's like the old Hollywood term. There's no small pictures, only small people. So every project is just as important to someone as the next. It's about how the people are interacting and how they approach it and their professionalism in doing so that makes the real determination.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it, how many of us, small publishers, self publishers, indie people, can really make their money back on a big investment? You know, I mean, how many people are pulling in easily $8,000 plus per campaign? Right. And it's like, I don't know. I'm looking at when I was running conventions.
Max, tell him.
I get it, but Max uses a lot of talent too, right?
Yeah,
Max, you're doing like what, 8 covers, maybe 6 covers per.
Oh yeah, usually
8.
Right.
About
right.
8.
So, you know, so I mean,
It's usually 8-2 standard and 2 was it non-safer works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's spreading it around. You know what I mean? It's like, all right. I remember when I ran a convention, how we looked at some of the drawers, right? Some of the big name people that can bring in ticket sales. And, you know, one of the guys was like, yeah, $35,000 and a first class plane ticket for me and my wife and, you know, a 4-star hotel. And I'm like, okay, dude, I get you. You're the top draw, you know, but there's no way I'm making $35,000. Yeah, I don't have. I had a 24,000 square foot facility, and we'd have to run people through him every 3 minutes to start to turn a profit, right? So when you look at those numbers and you scale it down for us, right? How many books are we gonna have to move before we can, you know, turn a profit on that person's name? Because let's be honest, we're getting them Either A, because you're a mark that you've always been a fan for that person, or B, because you understood that right now that person is a draw, and that person will sell X amount of units, right? And that person will know they will sell X amount of units, so they will either take your bid, which is the highest one, or they'll move on to the next person who's waiting in the wings to afford them.
I knew a dude that ran a horror convention, and they were going to get the dude that played Daryl Dixon, and he wanted $30,000.
Wow.
30?
To show up.
Dude, I remember we were looking into it, and he was a $70,000 minimum. So if he didn't meet, if you didn't meet the $70,000 in sales for him if he didn't meet the $70,000, then you had to come out of your pocket to cover the difference. And it's like,
it's crazy.
That is nuts. That is
right.
Nuts.
We were looking into Kevin Smith and his team to hold a panel, and we were going to charge for the panel and stuff like that. That was dope. Shit, my best friend ran a wrestling show in Jersey. Dude, you know how much it was to bring Roddy Piper here for just 5 minutes for him to yak on a mic? Money. And that's because he was already doing the Chiller convention by the Meadowlands. So we didn't have to pay for his flight and his lodging. We just had to pay for his appearance.
Wow.
So it's like, how many of us can afford that on a regular basis? Right? How many of us can prep the consumer base to continue purchasing the product after we've utilized that person's name?
Yep. Well, that's a good point. I mean, the dude who wanted 35,000, was he a movie star? TV celebrity?
He was in movies. He was a convention celebrity. Yeah.
Okay. No. I was just wondering if he was like a comic book guy. Yeah. You talking like Jim Lee or
Todd No. He was he had stroke. He had stroke, right?
Okay. No, that's fine. I was just curious. I was just curious. All right, Jay, take it over, bro. It's your question time. Go for it.
Yeah. We mentioned contracts before, and how many people are ready to impose the sanctions on a contract if it's not getting fulfilled? What are you going to do? What do you have waiting on the wings to, this person doesn't fulfill their end of the contract? What are you going to do?
Interesting. Johnny.
I'm going to call up Max, and we're going to get their address, and we're going to get our baseball bats, and we're going to go heat on them, I guess.
There's really nothing that you can do.
Right. Is it worth the 15 or 2,500 you'd paid for them?
Yeah, like you'd have to go to court. You'd have to pull the court. It costs money. I mean, and then half the time, like a lot of people I use are like outside of the country anyway. So, I mean, what is that going to, big deal? There's going to be like, I don't care.
Yeah, come get us. We're down in Brazil, right?
Yeah. A summons for the United States. I'm never going to be there, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where most of the people that we work with the contracts, we pretty much have them set up where we pay them per, and a lot of them is per page. And once they get the page done, we pay them. So we never really have to worry about that. We've kind of already got a system where, if you're not giving us the work, we're not giving you the cash. And plus it's that extra incentive, when you get it done, you get it.
There you go. All right, cool. Listen, yeah, don't go to Brazil looking for trouble. They'll send you to one of those favelas. You'll never get out.
Right.
Beautiful people, man. Don't piss them off. Brandon, what are your thoughts? Oh no, I'm sorry, not Brandon. It was Josh's turn. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I haven't really run into that necessarily as far as having to lean on anybody really. As far as like for the books that I publish that I'm not a part of, I mean, we don't really have like a time sensitive thing. It's more, I want to say, I'm trying to remember when we did a Tales of Shock and Terror Kickstarter, and I'm trying to remember. I think I had them sign the contract once the Kickstarter was done before I ordered the books for them. I think was when I had them sign the contract and stuff. That way, I knew they had the money to pay me for the books and all that. As far as artists and stuff, yeah, I've never really like my main guy that's done all of my my books. I used to pay him page by page, which he wanted. But now these days, he does it all, and then I pay him at the end.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's good that you build that relationship. That's excellent.
Yeah. I mean, it was tedious paying him every couple days, you know,
Mhm.
a few $100. So it's like it's nice that he was like, just pay me at the end. I'm like, perfect. That's amazing.
All right, cool. Brandon, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's very similar to what everybody's kind of saying here. I mean, I don't want to give too much away because then I lose my leverage, right? So I got the secret is I got Liam Neeson on my side here, and he's gonna find him. And he's gonna, you know,
Nice.
no, it's just the basic stuff. You know, you're really just trying. It's really just almost like an agreement in a sense where you're building that relationship with the other person. And you know, I haven't really had that problem either. You know, really just working with Demetrius right now, building that relationship for the last couple of years here. We've never had a problem with it. So I'm hoping that I have, I guess, good enough people skills to build more relationships with other artists in the future to kind of make sure stuff like that doesn't happen.
I mean, as holding the contract, it's like kind of not enforceable, as I said, but it kind of serves as a receipt.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
look, this dude screwed me.
Right.
Right. And if you wanted to do something about it, especially if they're in the States, you could, but it's probably honestly going to cost you more than to do something about it than not.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you could always put it out there. Be
Mhm.
like, look, dude
Right.
screwed me, and I've
Yeah,
got
ruin the
proof.
reputation. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, definitely. Because I mean, that's the thing. I was like, you know, like you said, small community. You know, it's going to
Yeah.
eventually get around to all the creators. Like, don't work with this person. They're just going to, you know,
Right.
do you wrong. You know.
Right. Right.
Marcus.
Well, I think what it comes down to is you got to go to what the first real reason for having the contract is, and that's for accountability. And that's how at Odyssey we like to structure our contract. It's accountability for both myself and then the creators when they don't uphold their end of the bargain too. As far as like legal recourse goes, I'm slightly petty, and I have enough money to fight with people if they so choose to. But thankfully, it never comes down to that. And really, as long as people are meeting their obligations, even if they need more time, even if sometimes they say, "Hey, Marcus, things are a little bit tight to me. Can you like maybe front me for a couple more pages? I'll get to it." Like, you know, as long as people are coming to me and letting me know what's going on, keeping me clued in, having the communication, and then just being collaborative about it. I got no issues giving them people as long as the leashes they need or rather I feel comfortable with. And especially as you build that relationship, you have that trust going forward. It's something that you will encounter less and less, thankfully. And to what the others said, once you reach that point, then you can start operating with everyone with a lot more confidence. And yeah, we're on the same, you know, sort of track with other creators where, hey, I'm just going to knock this out. I know we're doing the book. The pages is good to go. I'm going to go ahead and knock it out. Pay me when you pay me. I know you're good for it. You know, it's not going to be a big issue. And I think, especially when you're in a small press, sometimes those are the things that we get to use to our strength a little bit more. To say some bigger publishers who can be a little bit more controlling and stressful on the creators and the talent at that point.
All right, cool. You know, it's funny for myself. It's like I deal with a lot of talent that's outside the country as well. So there's not a lot of recourse other than, you know, just denying them cash, right? Because in the end, I mean, they're working freelance artists and they want to get paid. And
Money talks.
Right, money talks. And I mean, I get some artwork. And I mean, if I'm in front of my computer, I'm paying them within minutes of getting the artwork. If I'm away from my computer, you know, I'll be like, look, when I get home, right? I pay very, very quickly. I don't wait. I don't, you know, I make sure I'm Johnny on the spot with their money. So they know I'm very reliable. I give them consistent work, right? And they decide not to come through, that's on them. You understand? And then that relationship will just end, and then you just move on. I've had a couple of guys, just flake out, and it's just like, one of the things that I haven't pursued that I know I probably could pursue is I play primarily through PayPal, and there is that, where you, I guess, can go in and say, listen, this guy, I want a refund on this one. Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I've never used it. I've never had to use it. Or I've chosen. There was a couple of times I probably could have used it. I just chose not to. It was like $80. I'm like, whatever, man. Just, I mean, that's, some nights there's dinner. It's like, whatever. Go enjoy yourself. I'm not going to, like, hold it against you.
You spent $80 on dinner?
Sometimes.
Shit, brother, you got money. Where you going, man?
Well, listen, man, I took it out of your wallet, and then,
Hey, these days, how much food costs? That's probably a trip to McDonald's right now. So it ain't
dude. Yeah. Me and the missus went to a movie last week, and god damn, dude, for two, we dropped $100, man, just on tickets, popcorn, and soda. I'm like, what the?
Yep. Yeah, seriously, man, it is expensive.
Yeah, man.
But Jay, answer your own question.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm looking for exactly. I'm looking for advice, dude. I'm still trying to figure this whole shit out. But no, like it's it's not like I got freaking flyer miles to the Philippines. I can't knock on the guy's or gal's door. How fully prepared am I? I don't know. I don't have any lawyers under retainer right now, and it's scary to reveal that because who knows if the millions and millions of people watching the program right now are gonna look at me as a mark. But what can we call it? No, I don't know how we do it, dude. I'd love to know answers. I really would, as opposed to just shouting them out there. I was in a situation with a few people. I think who I'm talking about, and even all of us could not come to terms on how we were going to legally address the situation.
Right. Unlike you, I do have a lawyer on retainer, but
because you got money. You paid $80 for a bowl of cornflakes. You got that kind of dough, bro.
Listen, sometimes you got to do it that way. But Carlos says it's hard getting great talent. Who then start to flake. I got someone who is that way, and it's rough emotionally, but I pay pretty quickly once we agree. Yeah, man, it's one of those things. You'll be rough. All right, cool. Marcus, you're up.
I get to ask a question?
Yes, sir. You get to ask a question.
I think this would be a good one for the groups here, as we have some other publishers in the stream today that I get to throw this question to. And it kind of came up as I was discussing things at a con recently with another publisher. At what point do you believe personally that your publishing company or what you're doing is making comics? When do you feel you're at the true success level that you need to be at? What's your end goal as publishing, where you think you are either operating too small or you believe you are getting too large to fulfill on what you really want to do mission-wise?
Interesting. All right. Josh, you're next.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. And I think about it daily. It's honestly, we've probably all seen those memes where it's like a guy reaching for like a big ladder, and then there's like steps and the guy walking up the steps. And that's kind of, to me, what you're looking at when it comes to success in a business like this. You want to take small steps because, if you jump too quickly, you're going to be overwhelmed. I'm actually, like, my business is starting to go definitely in the right direction, and I'm noticing that I'm having to order books more often and all that. So I'm like, all right, now I need to be more prepared with this level of success. So to me, it's, you don't want to, I mean, I guess if somebody gave me $1 million tonight, I guess I'd be happy and I'd figure it out. But, I'd much prefer, taking those shorter steps and just getting there, in a timely fashion.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Max.
To be honest, I think that what we want to do is make our books pay for themselves. I mean, that's step one. Step two is making a profit. So, I mean, we need to make about $8,000 on a Kickstarter to make a profit, and we need to make about $6,000 to pay for the book. So, as long as we can pull in that $8,000, we're doing good. I mean, as Jay was saying earlier. I mean, how many people can do that though? I mean, we did 13,000 in our last campaign, which is not in the scope of things, not that much money.
Right.
But in the scope of Kickstarter, only 16% of people that have campaigns make 5 figures.
Mhm.
16%. That's crazy.
I thought it was smaller.
No, it's 16%.
16% is. Yeah, but in the pool of things, right? How many of us still know what we're doing? I mean, I'm making half of that, right? I'm making
Yeah.
5,000 a campaign, right? So at least I'm not hemorrhaging, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not, I'm not living off of the books that we make either.
Yeah, I completely understand that. We've got a couple books that we've put out that haven't reached the $8,000 goal. But we get close enough to 6, and just I throw more money into the pot. Johnny throws more money into the pot.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Brandon, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I heard some of that question because somebody in my Facebook Messenger was blowing up my ear. So I'm going to answer to the best of my knowledge. I don't really know if I'll ever, in my mind, because the person I am is ever going to hit success. Like how I'm always going to want to do more, no matter what. No matter what I have my goals set at, I'm going to want to do something more. I guess to answer the question, I guess success would be like how Max was saying, is just make what I'm spending on the book. And for that, that alone, I'm just doing what I love. I'm getting the story that I want out to people, and I don't have to put so much of my own money into it, and people, it's funding itself almost. That would be to answer the question, I guess. But again, even past that, I would always find something else, another goal to kind of go after and get done.
What's up, Mally?
Mally Simpson.
Johnny, what are you thinking?
See, to me, it's kind of good. I kind of go with what Brandon and of course Max, because me and Max talk about this daily. But a lot of it is plateaus. It's always resetting those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
The first boundary for sure is let's make sure these books pay for themselves. Then it's for me it's it's not just having a profit. It's paying back the investment that we put in to start this company. Max put in a certain amount, I put in a certain amount. And then after that, it's like we've now broke even at that stage of the game. Because at that game, it's like, okay, we're not out money. We're doing these comics and they're paying for themselves, which, that's the cake. I mean, we love doing it. It's like, as long as we can do this and not have to put money out of our pocket, I do it forever. But then there's that business guy, that side of me. I worked with the movie industry and did a lot of B movies, back in the past. So, and Max, did some of the similar stuff. So our minds, when we write our comics, especially I know I do, and we've talked about this, I see everything as a script. I see it as a movie. I mean, every time we're writing our scripts, it's already done in my head. And I'm seeing, them swinging across the building. Max is always having to tell me to slow up because I'm writing dialogue for a movie, and he's like, dude, it's a comic, slow up, He's like, you got too many freaking words in this, so you got to have some art too. And so, so for me, success is seeing Human Hunters on the big screen. If I can sit there and grab some popcorn and see my movie being played, or see it on, one of the streaming services, to me, that's when I hit that gold mark. It's like, hey, everyone can see what I created. And then there's that point of, if you have one person reading your book, that's something you created out of nothing. That's something that somebody now you've changed their life at that moment because they've read it. I'm going to get a little bit deep for a minute, But that's the thing, when Max brought me on, and it's like I got that first comic, that you're like, man, I created these characters. These are mine. This is something. Max is like, this is Mary. She's mine. And you're like, people are buying it. You're like, somebody wants to buy something. It's humbling. It's very humbling for me because it's like nobody wants my crap. And then we do our first Kickstarter, and they're like, Max is like, hey, you got to sign this. I go, what the hell do I got to sign this for? I'm nobody. And they're like, no, we're going to sign this. And I'm like, yeah, dude. And then it gets to a point, you're signing them. And you're like, this is really just incredible because we are so blessed to be able to creating something. We're creators, and we're bringing life into something that didn't exist before us. So for me, that's success right there, no matter if we make $1 or not.
I'm so happy you mentioned that, Johnny, because I'm glad I'm not the first one that had that initial reaction the first time somebody bought something and asked me to sign. I'm like, what the hell you want my signature for? Like, I guess I did some stuff, so I should.
That's the imposter syndrome that resides in all of us, right? Because I would tell people, you don't want me to sign it. I devalue it if I sign the book.
Yeah,
but I want to say something to everybody who's here with us watching. What got me out of that is I'm doing a convention, and I got my cousin there at the show with me, and he goes, dude, you know how much Grandpa would kill to have our name out there in the world? So it's like, right, Johnny, you're talking about getting deep. This is deep for me, right? Because in that imposter syndrome, we're nobody, right? My family name is a speck. We don't have a coat of arms or anything like that, but what we have is our name.
Yeah, true.
Right?
And saying I'm right there with you because, when I turned 18, I changed my last name to Reed.
Okay. Legally,
to actually keep my grandfather's lineage going. I wanted his bloodline to continue. Nice. So every time I see my Reed on a comic, that's keeping the legacy. And that's like I said, we're gifted. We really are. I feel blessed that we get to do what we can do.
Right.
I get people ask me all the time about pen names and stuff, and I'm like, no, there's literally no famous Nealises. I'm gonna be the first one.
Damn right. Damn right, man. Damn right. Nice. You know what, guys and ladies who are watching, if nothing else, this is the fucking thing that we could be proud of, right, Johnny? You said we made it. We made something. We put it out there, right? Marcus, you want to know what success is? Success is being able to make the next book. Right? We're so far into this shit that we can't see the forest through the trees, right? We can only see what's around us. We cannot see all of the steps that we've taken to get to this point. And God damn it, we've taken a lot of fucking steps, guys.
Yeah.
Right? I see everybody's work over here. And I see people coming back. I see people on other shows. How many people have we noticed that when we started are not even here anymore?
It's true.
Right? That's success is surviving in this, whether you're making a buck or not. Just being able to make the next book, brother. Man. Yeah, man. I if I could keep it fucking going, I could. But if I was smarter, I would have done fucking anything else but comic books. Because all of the knowledge that I amassed just trying to stay alive, making a comic book. Shit, I could apply that to any other fucking business that have been successful. I could have had a whole fucking chain of pizzerias, Papa James. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Dude, because I would have understood fucking margins and how much fucking margin a goddamn pie makes, right? But here I am trying to figure out how much fucking margin I could make on a book if I'm selling it for $5 and I'm paying 98 cents for it.
Yeah, it's like 3 cents a book, and you're like, yay.
Exactly. Right? I say this all the time. I came into this with college business 101, right? But all of the knowledge I've fucking amassed, trying to keep my shirt on, the lights on, my wife from divorcing me, man, I should have a master's by now, right? TED Talk should be coming here to reach out to us to share this, because through stupidity, stubbornness, survivability, we have found a way to continue to succeed and create continuous product. We're not just looking at this book right now. We are all looking at the bigger picture.
Yep. All right. I mean, I'm not too dissimilar to everybody else, but I mean, my goals, like that's a checklist
Oh wow, yeah.
of.
He's got it
And
printed up.
That's another checklist. Now, this is for the Oswald Chronicles. This is so I give these to my readers so they have a chronological order as to how to read my stories.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Nice.
So there's a third checklist that I have yet to publish any of those stories. Not all of these have been released yet. My goal is to finish the series. Right?
Nice.
I finished writing it, but I figure just publishing it is probably going to take me another 8 years to get it done. I mean, I could tell my artist to stop today. If I were to tell my artist, yo, we're done, just stop today. I have enough material for 18 Kickstarters in a row.
Damn.
18 consecutive Kickstarters.
I thought we had a bunch of stuff in the can when we had like 4 books, and I was like, man, we got to get some of these books out.
See, that's the thing. I got shit in the can, but I hit so many fucking speed bumps, right, that I can't release it. I can't get the machine rolling on a regular basis. Dude, my plan was to release 6 books this year. It's June. I've only released fucking 1.
You know, that's it, though. That's speed bumps. Because I can tell you, we were telling everybody last year that we were going to try to put out 11 books this year.
Yeah.
Wow. And we're still going to fall short because we had 2 or 3 speed bumps. It's like Max said, we're working on a book halfway through. Our artist quits. Now we got to start back and get that going again. We had put in some of our energies on a side project, and things didn't work out. That sets us back again. You know, there's just, but it's those little setbacks. But once again, it's having that perseverance to keep going, keep stepping, do not give up. You know, let's get that next one out there. Yeah. Are we going to get 11 this year? No, but we're on our way to probably getting about 7 or 8. So,
yeah.
Nice.
I mean, we do one. It's like we do 3-week campaigns now, which I may switch to 2-week campaigns just to test it.
We'll do it on yours then.
That's fine.
No, I'm being a smart man.
We'll do it on a Mary book. But I just, there's always that dead spot in the middle, and I mean, I'd like to minimize that while maximizing the amount of books we can put out every year, because it takes, what if we did a 2-week campaign? It'd take 2 weeks to get paid. It'd be a month. We'd get paid every month. Right. Instead of doing 3-week campaigns, getting paid 2 weeks later. That's 5 weeks. That's a month and a week. And then every 4 months that you lose a month because it's a month and a week. So you'd only be
my big
able to
takeaway here is that you guys are getting paid in 2 weeks. Why am I always like getting stuck with like 4 weeks? They don't like chasing
I think
stuff,
that's it. You know, we get our Kickstarter done. It's like everybody else. You got to wait that 14 days for Kickstarter to give you your money so they can make their money off the interest, which they've already made anyway.
Exactly.
And then they turn around. It's like, oh, no, we got to wait and get them shipped for another 14 days. And it's like, I mean, granted, you know, I'm not going to complain too much because we're still getting our books out within, you know, a month. So,
yeah, I think
that's one thing I might have to start prefacing to it back is like, for some reason, we take longer to get our funds from Kickstarter than other people. I don't know.
That drives me nuts.
And it's just,
it's them wanting to make you know, I know it. I mean, it's not anybody with, you know, business, like you said, business 101. Yeah. They got 14 days of making interest after they took a check of it anyway in their fees. That's
throw
right.
Throw that in a high yield account or on some,
which is probably
I mean, they just put it in something that is a high yield account, and then they just pull as much as they can, even if they're making just a penny on the per $1,000. When they've got $10 million in there, that adds up.
Yeah, they get their ball rolling. Yeah.
Well, when they've and it's just cake for them because they've already taken their percentage out of the cut anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, all that is just bonus cake money for them. It's ridiculous, really.
Yeah, I think I'm on my 3rd campaign this year. And I'm on schedule because I'm trying to do at least 2 for every one Jay does. So
Motherfucker, I almost spit up. It's good. I gotta take it, dude. I was just like, oh my god, a fucking, the best laid plans, right? Just,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
so
But
so
I'm very happy with everybody's responses, by the way. That means that we have a good level-headed group here because my response when I was positive to the question was the same way. If you go odysseycomics.com and read like our About Us and see what our mission statement is, it doesn't say a goddamn thing about Odyssey Comics wants to sell X amount of comic books or make X amount of money. It is about being a platform for new and emerging talent, for creators to come into this industry, get their feet wet or get past those frustrating blocks that they would happen to have with other publishers and get their books out. Every time that I get a book out or I help a creator make that dream happen, that's a success. Doesn't matter if the Kickstarter made $14,000 or $4,000 or $2,000. If we made goal and we got that book into the hands of people that want to read it, it is a double.
That's a success.
Damn right.
Yep. And it's a success.
Damn right.
that is true. That is true. All right, hold on. Get that up there.
Hey now.
Oh, look at there.
All right.
It looks
Turkey
nice.
Sharks 1 through 4.
All right, Josh, do you want me to play this video?
Yeah, we can make it awkward.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me just prep this up a little bit.
Well, Kickstarter, we're back. I'm Josh with Cutthroat Comics. I'm the writer-creator of the Turkey Sharks, and behind me is all the books that led up to where we're at now. So we're on Turkey Sharks number 4. Missed out on the first 3, don't worry. Get them in this campaign. So I know you were like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? We got you. We got you covered. Okay, so if you're not familiar, Turkey Sharks is my take on superheroes. And I know it's been done before, but trust me when I say it's not been done like this. Our heroes are ridiculous. They're heartwarming. They're silly and stupid. Lots of puns, lots of tongue-in-cheek humor. And it gets weird in this book. There are some weird stuff that even when I was writing it, I was like, this is beyond weird. So if you like weird, if you like funny, and if you like superheroes, this is the book for you. So check out our campaign. Check out all of our variant covers, including ones from old campaigns that you can still get. And let's make this thing happen. Let's get this done and get you into the world of Cutthroat Comics. Thank you. Just kidding, I didn't freeze. I'm just weird. I told you. Ha.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry. Can I ask this question? Is it me? Is my internet going? Are things bad? Because I only saw Josh's lips move like maybe 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It's
we're
that's
lagging
the
a
way
little
it
bit.
is when it plays on
Okay.
StreamYard. It'll lag out.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he just talked like that. So
I mean, it worked for me, man. I thought I was watching a cartoon from the 60s. You know what I mean? The slow motion animation, man.
Yep. That's how I roll. Real low budget there. I make a TikTok and then I delete the TikTok and just keep the video.
There you go.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, I said it gets weird, and I can safely say you've probably never seen a cross-dressing alpaca on the cover of a comic book before, but there's one right there.
Nice.
So yeah, this one's got three new first appearances from characters. Got some wedding action, some silliness. Got a couple helmet covers. I like when the Power Rangers do those. I thought those were cool, so we ripped that off for two of our heroes.
Homaged it.
What's that? Go ahead.
You homaged it.
Yep.
You didn't rip it off. You homaged it.
Yeah. So that other
we're saving you from legal action later.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's the teaser for the Tyler J. Haddock's cover. He just bought a new house. He's been stuck working on it, so he's a little bit behind. But I was able to get this, and that's another first appearance in this book. The character gets a cover as well. Little voodoo action with a voodoo doll and stuff.
Nice.
Ooh.
And of course, I like to show that the artwork is top-notch quality. At least I think so.
No, it looks really good, man.
Yeah. My main
There's
guy.
some good art and colors. I like the colors on that.
It's the same guy does all the interiors, lettering, and everything. Cristiano Reina lives in Italy. He's done all my books. He's awesome.
Very nice.
We got an intervention going on in the first couple pages here because one of my guys is a drunk.
Jay, need to be involved.
But yeah, I mean, we're doing all right. My Kickstarters, I'm not super great at them just yet. Most of my sales come from cons and stuff, but I'm trying to get these Kickstarters rolling. I usually set my goals low. That way, just in case something goes awry, I get a nice little chunk that helps me out to pay the artists and stuff. We're doing COAs for the first time, which is also one of the stretch goals. Everybody will get a COA. I think it was once we hit $1,200 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we get 50 backers and $2,000, I'm going to do the one chip challenge on Facebook Live.
That shit is hot, brother.
Yeah. Hopefully I get to find out,
It is hot.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Protect yourself, dude.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to play
Yeah.
Russian roulette and put a bunch of chips in a bowl
Oh, there
and
you
leave that one, put that one spicy chip in there and see who got it.
go.
Yeah. And listen, hopefully you'll get to 1996 with 49 backers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I probably would do it. I would still probably do it if we got that close.
Gotcha. No, it's really cool, man. Well, I mean, you've already met your goals. I mean, you're there. You got another 25 days. So you got plenty of time. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, I think the most I ever got was like a little over 1,644 or 45 backers. So I really want to hit 50 and 2K. Like that's my next kind of thing I want to push for.
Yeah, you always got to have a goal to push forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's a funny book. People
no,
seem
it
to
looks a lot. It looks awesome, man. I love the colors. The stuff you guys doing, and I'm sure I mean, yeah, it looks really good, man.
Yeah, he's gotten better, over the years we've been working together. I mean, 8 years now, so he's always making my stupid ideas look a lot better than what they even look like in my head.
Yeah. I love your alpaca. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's Edgar Sombrero.
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
know the alpaca's cross dressing?
Well,
maybe.
in the dialogue, he says it's a sheep. So,
Gotcha. That's funny. No, that's really cool. I like that.
Well, that's even more rare. You have a female cross-dressing. That's even more rare. So,
yeah.
Looks like that guy kind of looks like Prince Valiant and He-Man mixed together.
Yeah, they're coming from a wedding. That's Blasphemer. That's my gay Amish superhero, and he is a little bit of a He-Man ripoff, kind of, but he has like a bit of wood that he raises to turn into Blasphemer.
Cool.
I'm going to act like I didn't hear that. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I see it said Turkey Sharks 1 through 4.
Yep.
Is it a 4-issue limited series? You got more issues coming out, or is this?
Yeah,
This is like Leonard Part 6.
Yeah, this is going to be ongoing. I don't really have an end in sight. Every comic I'm building new story arcs and closing old ones. So it's fun to write. I enjoy it. I have one more comic series I'm going to start. Hopefully pretty soon. Chris Madd, if you guys are familiar with him, he's signed on to do the art for that.
Nice.
That'll be Cocaine Stripper Stronghold, but we haven't even started yet. But
I like the name.
I wrote the novel, and the novels, I mean, I sell out every 1 or 2 cons. I sell out and have to order more. So I was like, well, I can't let this IP die.
Cocaine Stripper?
Cocaine Stripper Stronghold. It's like from
Max, I'm seeing a crossover, dude.
Yeah. We've got Ninja Bimbos versus zombies from deep space.
Yep, I remember that. Yep. Yeah, I think the last time you and I were on a stream together, you were doing that Kickstarter.
Yeah, probably was.
Yep. It was like
Guys, you can't be simple like Night of the Comet. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's a great B movie title too. You know,
That's a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's
it
awesome.
was
Man.
a good movie. It was a good movie.
Yep.
Ninja Bimbos is actually Night of the Comet has a lot of that's where a lot of it came from because of
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's a comet that comes down and hits New York, and there's a bunch of green gas that comes out and turns people into zombies.
Nice.
Except for our strippers. They have unique abilities because of it.
Yep.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Cool. Now,
Do they have
you
one
guys?
scene at the mall at least?
There will be a scene in the mall.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. That's our homage.
You guys want me to play this video?
Sure. Wow.
Very nice.
Everybody uses that sound in their trailer, so I was like, "Yep, using it."
All right. A question, guys. So how come nobody's doing the 1980s voiceover with the
Oh, that's coming with the Ninja Bimbos at some point.
Okay.
In the world.
Yeah. You know, you got the what was Shocker whistling as he switched bodies? I forgot.
Oh yeah.
So Max, what are we looking at here?
So yeah, this is the Mary Machine Gun trade paperback. It's issues number 1 through 4. It's 152 pages of Mary Machine Gun action.
Nice.
And then there is 8 pages of Dark America. It's kind of our post-credit scene. It gives the introduction to the character Dark America. It explains where she got her costume, where she got her name, and where she got her trademark 45s. So then there's also 40 pages of cover galleries and print galleries. So there's 2 different versions of the book. There's a safe for work version and a not safe for work version. So the not safe for work version has all the nudity covers and all the nudity prints, and all the nudity is in the book, and all the sex toys are in the book that are in the background. And then the safe for work version has all the nudity and everything covered up. It's been patched over. The sex toys have been removed from the background. The language is still the same. We didn't change the script, but we did change a lot of the pictures and stuff in the artwork, so it would be more safe for work. You wouldn't get in trouble if you were reading it at the office.
Cool.
Well, plus we know nowadays the kids hear those language at school, so we're okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you listen to my little 8-year-old when he thinks he's like, well, no one's listening to him, and he's just in there. He's like, fucking bullshit. God damn it, this game sucks.
And you're like, yep, raising them right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's these are some of the pages of the book. They're in no particular order. They're just some of the more interesting ones, like that. The architecture on that church is just awesome.
It looks
Fernando
cool.
really just blew it out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Shit, that should have been a full page, dude.
I love. It's funny. Just the detail of the knocker is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's his use of light in his colors is amazing, and he can use like up to like 3-4 different light sources and everything, and he can really bang it out. I mean, his stuff is just awesome.
Nice.
Is it one guy doing everything?
Yeah, Fernando does it all.
For Mary. We have other artists for other books, but for Mary, he does all the artwork.
Yeah, he does it all for Mary. And you can tell as he's gotten better. I mean, over time, like that. That's a picture from the final book, book 4, and you can tell that's His posing is better. His facial expressions have gotten better. He's just evolved in a really good way, and it worked out nice.
Yeah, listen, it's always great when you see the artist growing with you.
Yep.
That's Charlotte going to the Amaranthian pool. That's Mary firing the weapon that she gets once she becomes a Valkyrie. We've got pretty cool some add-ons. We got the Curiosity Press calendar. We've got the PDF versions of each book, the safe for work or not safe for work version. You can get the combo pack, which has got both of them in it, so you can get both books. We've got the Mary Machine Gun ketchup. So if you like your floppies, you can always get those instead. You know, just buy digital and then get those. We got the Human Hunters ketchup. We got the Ninja Bimbos ketchup. We've got the Atrocity Press ketchup, which just gives you everything we've done. And our stretch goals, we've got this card set is the evolution of Mary. So the first card is Mary Machine Gun, or Mary, Sister Mary, and then the next card is Mary Machine Gun. Yeah, so there's Sister Mary. And then we've got Mary Machine Gun next. Then we've got Beast Hunter Mary. And then we've got this Valkyrie armor, that's a character, but we haven't released who it is yet. And when we were doing it, I was like, Christ, Fernando, settle down. It's just a card. You don't have to go so crazy on it. And he's like, I don't think I can do simple anymore.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. No. But it looks fantastic. The rings are red because of all the blood from the people that she brought over into Valhalla.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's 200 pages of awesome. So snatch it up, back it today. It's good stuff. And I mean it's all done. I mean, there's the bookmark that we've got for the thing. It's the stretch goals. And then we've got a chibi sticker that Fernando did.
Nice.
And then we've got the poker token. And as I said, of course, this stuff is done. I mean, we've put it all, it's all been published already. So, I mean, the books are done. And it's just a compilation of the books. So.
And that is kind of our methodology too, to always, when we do a Kickstarter, our books are always done before we drop it out. We want to make sure that as soon as it's done, we get the money, we get it sent off to printers. So that's one thing that's at least, Max started and we've been able to keep that up.
Yep.
I try to do that too. This works out a little better. I mean, no offense to anybody that, gets the money and then does it later. That is what it is. But
yeah.
I worry about going under budget
Mm-hmm.
when I do something like that. So I want to just make sure that I've got it all done. And then I can go ahead and say, okay, it cost us X amount of dollars. This is the goal we need to set.
Well, the other thing is how much time do you really have to work on the book while you're trying to promote the campaign?
Right.
Yeah, and I mean that's some stuff that we are doing. Like me and Johnny are going through and picking the prints and the covers right now, and it's kind of a pain.
And then
in the
we're
ass.
already working on our next Kickstarter. We're already got it out for approval.
Yeah.
So when do you expect the next one to pop out?
The next campaign?
Yeah.
Next month.
Beginning of July.
Beginning of July? Gotcha.
Yep, it'll be Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space, issue number 3.
All right, cool. Well, you've already met your goal. You got another 8 days, so
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are in good shape.
Yeah, we're doing fine. We met the goal. I'd like to see some stretch goals come out. We're gonna print these cards no matter what because we sell them as add-ons.
Oh, cool.
People like to collect them, so we make them available to them. And it's like $1 a card to buy it, and we give you 4 cards, so it's like a $4 add-on. It's not that big of a deal.
Mhm. Is this your
People
first
dig-
trade?
Yeah, this is our first trade paperback. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I find is that they don't do as well as a single issue comics,
Yeah,
But-
I've noticed
Yeah.
that.
but every campaign I've run with trades, I've sold consecutively more and more trades.
Well, good.
Like
That's awesome.
Yeah, like
That's
you
what
know,
you
I'll
need to
sell
do.
anywhere from like 5 to 20 trades on every campaign I've done since I've started doing trades.
Sweet.
So that's the one thing. That's the one thing I was like, well, you're not gonna do. You may not do great initially, but as you go on, you add those numbers, and you're like, oh wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll
Yep.
we'll have more trades coming the beginning of next year. We'll have the Ninja Bimbos trade, and we'll have the Human Hunters trade. So
Nice.
that'll be fun to do.
Wait, we can't say that until all the books come out. We got to make people think that that's the only way they can get it. We got to
Well,
keep
we'll-
the
we'll
illusion.
Current inventory, right?
We'll do it.
No,
We'll
we're
have
just
them
playing.
sometime next year. I mean,
Yeah, I'm being a smart ass.
we'll see when they come out. It's how it works. You're working on stuff and you're like, okay, I got a schedule, and then 1 month gets screwed up and you're like, okay, my whole schedule's screwed.
Back to the speed bump, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, Brandon, you want me to play this video?
Yeah, it'll save me from a lot of explaining.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon Starocki, creator and writer of Avalon.
And I'm Callie Overlander, the newest addition to Avalon Comics. So, what is Avalon?
That's a great question, isn't it? Avalon is a brand new post-apocalyptic comic book that has a little bit of something for everyone.
A story that stays true to the zombie genre, but adds in its own originality.
Begin this world by following the Castle family at their youngest son's super sweet 16th birthday party. And let me tell you something, it ain't gonna be so sweet.
Right away, you're going to see sprinklings of mental health issues arise, like anxiety and depression.
Sprinkle. Okay, sprinkle? Okay.
Yeah.
As you begin to read this story and understand the characters a little bit more, you immediately understand that Avalon's infection isn't your typical zombie outbreak. As you can tell by the scratches on their eyes and how they do.
Oh, I feel like we should read it. I know.
Am I getting ahead of myself?
Yes, always.
That's my bad. So let's move on to this. Why would someone choose to read?
Well, absolutely. I feel like there are so many reasons why. It's so many relatable things, like issues of have realistic decision making and those consequences to those decisions. You have family problems, and of course, zombies.
Why don't you explain why you said yes to join?
Okay, yeah. I said yes to Avalon for a variety of reasons. I love horror, and I love that a horror comic was being made right here in my hometown of Erie, Pennsylvania. And Avalon takes place here in Erie as well. Having the opportunity to be a part of something that's being written in my hometown, for my hometown, is amazing enough, and were all reasons enough to join. But then, I started talking with creators of Avalon, and I realized that this wasn't just another zombie story. There was something really unique about it. I wanted to be a part of this unique adventure.
Guys, Demetrius is on the line.
Oh, here, Sentiment.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Demetrius.
Hey,
it's
Demetrius.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hello, I made it. Good to see you both and everybody on Kickstarter here. I'm Demetrius Nastos, the artist of Avalon Comic, and I have a few things to say about it. Avalon is the very first comic that I got a chance to work on that was about to be published, so it was a big thing for me. Reading the script, the first script of issue 1, I'm loving the character development, the horror and noir elements that it had, along with the slow burn of the story. That was pretty much the reasons why I said yes. So here we are. And me personally myself, I'm thinking of new ways of utilizing panels and using them in a great way to tell the story that the whole thing is created. So this will be really. Sorry guys, I have to go.
You seem to keep us in a hurry, too.
Yeah. Just reading wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
I don't know. I feel like we gotta go. But before we go, before the apocalypse, catch us up to you.
Get your copy of Avalon now, okay?
Yeah.
Please stand by.
All right.
Doing well. You're 59% and you're 50% through the campaign.
Yeah, I'm hoping this last kind of couple week here stretch here kind of does it for us. You know, and again, and that's kind of why I had you play the video, because a lot of what Avalon is explained through that few minute video there. You know, I guess just key points to kind of hit on as well as, you know, this isn't a typical zombie story. You know, I'm a big fan of the genre. I kind of wanted to steer away from doing, you know, the traditional one and kind of do our own story. We kind of steered away from the hero's journey, you know, not following an individual's hero's journey. We wanted to make the whole family the protagonist. There's the world, the family, and the characters, and the infection itself that makes these zombies all kind of have like an arc and have an evolution to their kind of story progression. Just a lot of tradition. We do hold some traditional values to the genre, but we also try to make a bunch of original ideas and bring into this. The first couple issues that are out right now, you see the progression of what happens when you are bitten, and that's what this page is right here. You're kind of seeing that kind of conclude. It's not really a spoiler. If you read issue 1, then you kind of know it's inevitable.
I like the black and white and red.
Yeah, that was a choice for 2 reasons. I thought it was cool, and one of the big reasons was because it's cheaper, and to have Demetrius do the artwork the way he's able to do it, it makes it all that much better. It sells the idea. It makes me look smarter, right? Because the way he's able to kind of utilize the red to make the red pop, it really makes it nice, and it fits Avalon's theme. Because a lot of what Avalon is were taken from 30 Days of Night, the movie, and just kind of bringing that dark, gritty feeling to it as well. We wanted to kind of keep that. I think the best way to do that was the black, white, and blood. At the end of each issue, you're going to get that splash of color to kind of really intensify the moment, you know, of the last page, and kind of keep you in that moment and kind of see where our brains are at with everything going on. But there's a lot of fun stuff with it. It's going to be an ongoing series, and we have a bunch of arcs ahead of us. A lot of realism is kind of focused on in this zombie story, as much realism as you can get in a fictional world as zombies is. But yeah, we have a lot of fun doing it. There's a lot of fun things coming up with it. And if you're a big, you know, if you're like an advocate of like mental health or physical health and all that, we focus on that. That's one of the main parts of the storylines as well. And the progression of the story focuses on those kind of key aspects as well.
Cool. Nice. Now, how long did you run a 30-day or a 60-day campaign?
We ended up doing a 60-day because of the fact that we're bunching the 2 together.
Gotcha.
You know, and I do understand that there's that dead zone almost. You know, and we definitely hit that dead zone but it definitely picked up because we were on your show a couple 2-3 weeks ago almost, like probably when we first kind of came out. You know, we picked up quite a bit in that dead zone too, which was kind of nice for us, you know. But you know, with this last couple weeks spread here, we're hoping for a lot of noise, a lot of backers kind of seeing this and seeing the artwork. You know, if you're just a fan of art in itself, you know, Demetrius does a phenomenal job. But yeah, just anybody, again, like I'm a fan of the genre itself. If anybody is a fan of the genre, just as a fan of the genre, I would say give it a shot, you know. But because I do take, you know, pride in loving the genre and making sure that key elements are being met while we do this project as well. And one big note to mention as well, starting tomorrow, we're actually going to add the physical catch-up tier. We stayed away from that for a little bit because we sold out of all of our issue 1 physical copies, and we're just gonna order one last batch of because we have the same artist throughout the series, but his art kind of evolved from issue 1 to 2, and what you're seeing from issue 2 on is going to be the artwork from now on. But issue 1 has that different art style, so we're going to order one more batch of that old art style, and that's going to be it. And we're going to stop that run of the old art, and we're going to remake it for next year, and then continue with that remake line of the artwork. So we're going to kind of add that catch-up tier here tomorrow. I'm going to make an update and all the good stuff and send it around social media. But, you know, if you're watching it now, we're going to have that up tomorrow, Monday, the 12th.
Cool. I think that'll definitely benefit you because, you know, most people, if they don't have if they can't get issue 1, it's going to be hard for them to jump in on 2 and 3.
100%. And I've noticed that with cons. I've noticed that with past Kickstarters. Like it just, I've known, you know, I have issue 1 free on Global Comics along with issue 2. So it's just like, you know, obviously your issue 1s are where all the noise kind of generates from, especially when you're in this community where, you know, people want to see what you're about, see what you got, and see if it's worth the money or time, honestly. But and physical helps in its own way because I don't even like reading stuff digitally. I hate it. I would rather.
Yeah, but I mean, one thing I've noticed is that people that buy digital books read the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not buying it to collect a cover. They're not buying it to collect artwork. They're buying it to read the book.
Yeah.
And
they are usually coming back to support on subsequent.
Well, and honestly, I think Max and I, when we were doing our last one, we did some research and we noticed that a lot of the digital guys are from the other countries.
Yeah,
you know, and I think a lot of it is just they were avoiding those shipping costs too.
And that's the huge reason why we even have it. And I'm assuming that's probably a big reason why people have it in general. Like it definitely helps that market out there because we've had actually a good handful of people from the UK that kind of reach out to us and we made accommodations for it. They do have physical copies of ours as well, you know. And if it doesn't meet your needs, definitely reach out to us. We're definitely open to kind of making something happen so you guys can get it if you're outside of the United States. So that's kind of a big thing too. We have, like I said, a good handful of people that are outside of the United States that we kind of figured out a way to get it out there without being so crazy of a price. But even with the Kickstarter, you know, we'll figure something out. So if anybody's interested in it, just
I want to add to the digital, folks. Don't worry about watermarking your digital. All right, we're not getting pirated, and if we were getting pirated, it's just free publicity. So,
yeah, I would love to get pirated.
Yeah, you know you've made it actually. If you see your book on bootleg, it's like holy shit.
Yep.
It's worth it.
Put a QR code in there.
Well, that was like I remember Max called me up a couple months ago, and he's like, "Dude, jump on eBay." And I go, "What?" And somebody actually had sent, or wasn't it Bimbo's, to have it graded and was selling it on eBay. And I'm like, dude, somebody graded our book before I did. That's crazy. I was like, that's nuts.
That's funny.
That's actually really cool. I kind of can meet you in the middle there. I was just somehow popped in looking on Google Avalon Comic, and then somebody was I can't even remember the website's name. It wasn't eBay. But it might have been like a comic website, but they're selling the issue 1 of Avalon on their own kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
It's always cool.
Yeah.
I got one for you along those lines. At New York Comic Con some years back, somebody bought one of our posters and got it signed by Stan Lee, and it's just like, you know, for me it means something because I don't got anything but his autograph. But man, those handlers must have just they had him just signing everything they put in front of them, huh?
Sign this.
That's cool though, yeah.
That's funny. All right, so I mean, you got 15 more days. Another $1,015 you got to make, and you're there. I mean, I think you'll do it. You know, I don't think you're gonna have an issue doing that. So
I hope so. I really do. And yeah, it's a two issue. Well, two new issues. Obviously, we're doing a Kickstarter for all 5 of them. But the 2 new ones are 4 and 5. But trying to get it out there, that's the biggest kind of goal. The reason we set the goal is really for the printing, not really so much for the paying the artist. I just pay the artist, but it's all of it's for printing.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Just want to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Now we're going to look at this guy's thing.
What guy would that be?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Oh man, what's this trash? Why are we looking at this garbage?
So happy. So funny enough, this was supposed to be launched last night, but one of those speed bumps from my last campaign is keeping me from ethically launching the next campaign until I fully fulfilled my last campaign. But by the time I
did you say ethically?
Ethically, yes.
Oh
ethically.
shit! I didn't even know. I didn't think you knew that word. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, one of those, longer words. I don't even know how many letters it is, but one of those longer ones comes into play in my vocabulary.
Oh no, I meant the meaning.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. Well, none of that. I don't want to seem like a shill. You know what I'm saying? So I'll hang back. Until I launch it. But, so this is going to be launched the 24th.
You sound so sure of yourself.
Yeah. I just realized that Saturday is the 24th. So it's going to be launched Saturday the 24th. And because next weekend I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. for AwesomeCon. So it'll be the weekend after that. By that time, I should have everything fulfilled for my last campaign, which was Limbo, Open Almost All Eternity. And this is it's going to be a trade, at least 100 pages long, and it is collecting issues Storm Chasers Volume 1 collects issues 1 through 4. Storm Chasers Volume 2 is what we're looking to raise the funds to print, is collecting issues number 5, 6, 7, and 8. It is going to be at least 100 pages long with other pages added through stretch goals. So there's a chibi gallery, there's a famous fake battle scene, or multiple famous fake battle scenes. So there's a bit more bang for the buck if we hit the higher notes. And this is our linchpin comic book, or excuse me, this is the stuff I started off with doing comic books. And Brendan, I wanted to get at you for a second when you were talking about redoing the first issue so everything comes into line. Be careful, because that's going to be a deep hole.
You'll just keep going back and doing it over and over again.
Yeah, man. So that's what we did with our first Storm Chasers volume. They were originally ash cans, right? 12-page stories. But once I started getting the hang of doing what I was doing, we went back, we expanded them to 24-page stories, and then it was like, oh, well, the first 3 issues doesn't match issue number 4, so let's redo issue number 4. And then it was like, oh, well, why don't we redo one of the other issues? And it's just like, dude, spend that money to create new content. Be proud of the stuff you did.
Well, the fortunate thing is with it's only issue 1 for us, and with that being said as well, I'm a big consistent person myself, because I remember when Demetrius even reached out to me after issue 1 was completed, that his style kind of evolved and he's gotten better, and I was very nervous about even changing it. I'm a person that needs the same kind of paper, same cover. It needs to feel the same way. It needs to look the same way. So I was very kind of weary about it. But when he showed me it, I fell in love with it immediately. So that's just going to be it. And like I said, kind of like to your point, I guess luckily for us, it's only 1 issue. It wasn't a whole thing. Good. If it was a full arc or 6 issues, it would have just been like that. It would have just been, that's it. But yeah.
No, I mean, it's one of those things, you live and you learn, right?
Yeah.
But fortunately, we were able to get over that hump and create 2 volumes out of those 8 different issues. So that's where we're at. We're launching again on June 24th, Saturday night.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Look forward to it.
Thanks. And one more thing that really worked for us on our last campaign was every returning backer ended up getting a holochrome trading card. So we're going to be continuing that. Anybody who has backed any of the previous campaigns can come back, and we'll get a holochrome trading card added to their kit and caboodle.
Nice, nice. Marcus, I would have done you before Jay, but he just has a launch page, and I thought he was going to be quick. Sorry.
That was your first mistake, is thinking that Rosario was going to be efficient with this.
Right.
I'm windy. I'm windy, baby.
No kidding. All right. So Marcus, is this all you? I mean, you don't have a video. So.
No, I don't. I rarely do videos. I typically, just don't have the time. And the times that I've seen, we've done videos, there's really no indication to show that they're doing anything more than not having videos. So to me, they're nice to have.
I've never really seen any difference between money that raised if you have a video or if you don't, if you just have an image up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think this.
I just do videos for fun.
Yeah, they could just be fun. They're fun exercises and the different means of engagement. This is actually a good sort of litmus test for that because we have a similar scope and project. We have the exact same goal that we're trying to reach as the last campaign that we did. Last campaign had a video. This one does not. Results are basically no different. Campaigns are running almost identical. Actually, this one is probably going to hit funding a little bit sooner, as we're right there. We're right there in the cusp. We just need like that last 2% to go ahead and But this here is what we did with The World Ended 1 through 3. It's really the campaign for 3. We put the first 2 out last year around fall time. Really had great success with it. This is one of our top selling books whenever we do a con. This is our horror anthology series that follows the lives of everyday survivors after a long dormant goddess reawakens and starts a culling of mankind. Each issue follows a different set of survivors at different periods of time throughout the apocalypse and charts their stories and really takes horror from a humanistic angle. I don't want to say elevated horror because I hate that term because that infers that horror is somehow intrinsically lowbrow, and I don't believe that's the case.
I don't believe that at all.
No, but if you are looking for something that is a little bit heavier than your usual stuff, this is a good one. And this is the boldest, trippiest, most shocking one that we've done thus far. So this is number 3 of 4. We'll have 4 coming out, hopefully, towards the back half of the year, close to October, Halloween time. And then we'll have a trade and a backup story for the trade to wrap up the whole project.
Very nice.
And that'll be exciting too, because it'll be the first time we've completed a series front and back for Odyssey.
Yeah, that's always super cool. I mean, this is what it's like with Mary Machine Gun. This is our first trade, and I'm like, yeah, first trade. Let's get it out. Let's get it out.
Yep. We're looking forward to it. The story here is an original by Muhammad S. Saeed. He came up with the story. Our artist is Federica Manson, and her usual partner in crime, Marta Gasparoni, for the colors. Then myself as story editor, book designer. Muhammad also contributes with the letters too. And our variant cover artist is Crimson Curia. They're a just brilliant artist that I've come across, and like I said, one of those people who I was stalking for a while and being like, okay, if their stuff that I commissioned them for is as good as what they're usually putting out, it's going to be brilliant work. And they did the variant cover for us, and it's stunning. We got a lot of different tiers. We're trying to keep this one relatively simple and lean. You could get into this one for just $2 at the digital tier. It makes it a great value and super low investment. Just $5 for the digital catch-up tier to get to all the stories. Then we have separate tiers out from that. Everything is available as an add-on. So really, backers can build the rewards out however they want to. And we're shipping worldwide. It's going to be available to all markets, even our friends down under in Australia.
That's so expensive to mail to them.
Yeah,
it is. Thankfully, I have the benefit of a corporate shipping account where I can rates. I know everyone doesn't have that working out for them, but I utilize it to our advantage. And yeah, with just a little bit more support from here, we just I think need another $100, and we bring it on home. We unlocked our first stretch goal, and that's going to be a PDF of Intrusive Thoughts from a good friend of the group, Anthony Stokes. I picked that one up earlier this year. It's a great book, and I think people who are interested in what we did with World Ended would also think that one is great. And I didn't check it early, but we passed the 100 backer mark, so we're gonna unlock another reward for that too.
Cool, very nice.
And the book is 100% done. It's all ready in can. All I gotta do is get it back from the printer. We're ready to rock.
Cool. Now, this is issue 3, right? How many more issues are in the series, or is this it?
Just one more issue for 4, and then we'll do a backup story, a 5th story for the trade that will be included.
Gotcha. Now, one thing I noticed is that you have barcodes. Are you planning on going through Diamond at some point?
We will be pivoting more into direct market, as I have some opportunities we need to explore there. But to take that next step and also keep control of my inventory more, we're going to start utilizing more barcodes another big thing now is things are picking up for us on our web shop too. We're putting a number of orders through there. So having the barcodes and UPCs and everything all ready to go, because we both use it internally. And then if we go to direct market and we're getting into shops more, things like that, we're also going to be making that for use of shop owners to have that available there.
All right, cool. Listen, man, I mean, look, you get another $100, you got 12 days, you're going to be fine. Yeah, man, this is awesome.
I hope it comes sooner rather than later, but yeah, we've been doing well. We've kind of overall have we're past that point where like we don't have a slowdown anymore. So we were talking earlier about that slog in the middle, and a lot of people go through it, and we went through it a lot too. When we were doing our initial Kickstarters, between this and the last that we did, everything's just a smooth curve up to the top. There's no flattening out anymore. So now a lot of that late support that usually comes in the final few days are the things that puts us over the top and actually helps us get to the next one quicker, because we're funding in addition to where we are right now. We could just like use that extra income that we get from the Kickstarter to just like really go ham and get this one out quick. And for us to be able to wrap up a series within 1 calendar year, that'd be really cool. And I'm hoping to get to that point.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, for anybody doing trades, I recommend get into trades as quickly as possible. It's a hell of a lot easier to transport when you're setting up for conventions. It's a higher price point, bigger margin. All right. Trades working out now. Easier to set up at a convention also.
Yes.
And
a lot of people are happy to spend it. I was surprised because we rolled out our first graphic novel, Twilight Custard, at the last convention that we did, and where it's a $20 book. It's a high price point for indie, for people that haven't heard about. So for them to go ahead and jump in and buy that $20 book, but they had all the confidence because it was done, it was 100% ready to go, like it's self-contained, and they'll happily drop more money on a trade or a graphic novel.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting the whole story.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier to get $20 from a person than it is to get 5.
Yes, and that was a surprising thing. We almost sold out of the first small initial print run that I did, and that was a cool thing to see.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. But listen, this is my campaign. I got 14 hours left, so I just might as well. We're almost there. I'm trying to get.
Like, what's this trash?
Yeah, I know. Listen, I got a
project we love.
You're funded, buddy.
You already got all your money. You're good to go.
Yep.
Hello, my friends. As you can see, we have a new Kickstarter where I go into Dream and become an emperor. So buy a book or a digital copy and join the adventure. Bye.
That was that thing. She was playing around with making some animatics, so just thought it was funny. But yeah.
Like who did the voiceover?
That was Daphne.
Yeah, I figured as much after you said that, but
yeah, it's listen, man, we're there. I got 14 hours. I'm trying to make it to $3,000. I'm trying to get to this bookmark. I'm giving everyone who pledged a physical gets we're gonna do a metal bookmark. So at $3,000.
Wow, metal bookmark, huh?
Yeah. I've been wanting to
moving on up.
Yeah, but we're doing well. And what's funny is we've had, kind of like Marcus said, a steady growth from the beginning. We haven't really had a dead zone. I think at most I had 2 days with no pledges, but beyond that we were good. So, anyway,
we get pledges every day, but I mean it's like 1 or 2. It's not like we have like at the beginning. It's like it's huge, and then it just kind of slowly curves up.
Right. And then it's just
you get that last
continuous thing.
Yeah.
So listen, we got a few more minutes. I do have a question, and this one relates a lot to John, because I'm curious. You're a retailer. I don't know if anybody else has retailed before. Independent comics. How do you see it going? Like, do you see more fans engaging more in independent comics? Do you see less fans? I mean, like, what do you see in your shop, or even when you talk to the retailers? What are you seeing?
Tell you honestly, like in my shop, I have a little area that's like for Kickstarters. So I do reach out to a lot of different Kickstarters, and you guys, if you want to talk off the air, let me know. Because I try to do like a retail tier. That way I'll get like 5 of everybody's books and see, that way I have a little area to just promote those indie books. Me and Max, we got a spinner rack just for Atrocity Press in my shop. But just going by you have your people that are going to be your Marvel fans. You got your people that are going to be your DC fans. But overall, I got to say a lot of people are buying more and more indies just because they're getting tired of the reboots. I think at one point it was event fatigue. Everybody was upset about all the events, but now people are like, it's harder to collect when you have like the 8th volume of Daredevil, and the last 6 have been in the last 3 years. It's kind of like, even if you want to go get back issues, you don't really know where to start with the back issues. It's getting very complicated. Even as a retailer, I get comics traded in, and when it's newer comics, I'm like, is this volume 5? Is it volume 6? Is it volume? And it's like, even like Daredevil today, it's just now getting up to issue 12, and I got to say, the new Daredevil is probably one of the best Marvels that's out there right now, and they're talking already about rebooting it, and I'm like, if you're going to keep rebooting them, why not just do miniseries? But that's going to be a whole nother discussion. But but really, a lot of people are they're getting tired, and they're going to indies because they want those books that, hey, people care about them. People aren't phoning them in. That's the biggest compliment I get when people read my book or read Max's book, and they come in here, or our book at this point, however you want to phrase it. But when they come back, they're like, dude, I really like that book, and I'm like, well, thanks. And they're like, you guys really care about it. I said, well, yeah, aren't you supposed to? And I think that's the big thing. That's the difference between indie and these. We're not doing it for paychecks. We're doing it because we love it. And I think people are noticing in the big companies that's getting lost.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, can I ask you this? What's the difference between all the reboots? Excuse me. Do you see a difference between all the reboots and something like Mignola's Hellboy, which is Hellboy subtitle number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, go to rest for a little bit, and then comes back with a fresh launch on the next volume? Is there a difference with that? Is there something that could be built around that? Is it interesting? Is it not interesting as a retailer?
I don't. That's a little bit because at least it gives a pleasure to have a little bit of a break.
Okay.
When you go with Marvel, it's like, hey, we're gonna cancel Uncanny X-Men. This is the last final issue. Buy it, buy it, buy it. Next month, you get that new previews, X-Men Uncanny #1, and you're like, and then they get to that point of like, oh wait, Batman's going to hit a 9,000 book, even though we're on volume 6, issue 12. Next month, it's going to be Batman 9,000. And I'm like, I don't know. To me, it's just one of those things that just makes it really complicated, as a reader to get into it anymore. And that's the thing I get. A lot of people are like, I haven't read comics for a little while. I don't know where to start back, and pretty much I go, you're better off with indies.
Yeah. That one guy, there was one dude that was in Johnny's shop that was going to buy a bunch of Marvel books, and then he decided to buy a bunch of Mary Machine Gun books.
And
Atrocity Press stuff. Yeah.
Well, I think that's good. And once again, I think a lot of it has also led to just the industry and the movie industry. People like watching The Boys. People like Lock and Key. And people are realizing that these really great shows, they're like, wait a minute, that was an indie comic? Walking Dead, look how big it is, and it was Image. It may be one of the bigger companies, but it started out as an indie. And I think you get a lot more people now. They're looking at these smaller companies because they want to find the next Lock and Key, the next Walking Dead. So you have a little bit more of the spectrum looking at it now because they're like, hey, this could be a next big thing. Like somebody, said something about, Mr. Dunn, Warrior Nun, you got The Witcher, you got stuff out there now. I think that's what people are looking at.
Right, Johnny, if you want to give, if we want to put that out there, in the green room, we were talking about Is there, Peter David and
I thought that was the same place. We're going to talk about it now.
Right.
No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing.
No. All right. So, because I remember there's another part to add to that, right? So we have Peter David, who's suffering from health issues, and you got one of the characters he developed as a work for hire project with $20.99 being all over the big screen, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned Ben Dunn with Warrior Nun Ariella being on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the latest issue of previews, right? The latest previews catalog, and on the cover we have Met Cadet U that is now coming to an animated series on Netflix from creator Greg Pak, right? Yeah. Greg Pak, he got, I don't want to say blown over with his work on World War Hulk being there you go, brother.
Yeah.
Right? Being integrated into the Thor movie, and he, getting a little, nice little stipend for that, but nothing that he can retire on. And he's developed his own projects while doing work for hire stuff, but that led to a point where his creator own projects, like Max put up, it's being
looked at.
It's being looked at, right? So that's where he's getting paid. So if more people out there, consumers, understood that they are participating in the future well-being of the creators whose projects could potentially explode, do you think that would be something to get them to shop more indie stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. Well, I don't know if it'll be so much more of the situation of that's putting a lot of thought behind somebody picking up a book and saying, I want to do this because I want to help somebody else later. But I think it is a good point of somebody saying, you know what? This is something that hasn't been done, and I might get it because later on it may blow up and I've already got it. Because that's like, let's take Echo. Echo was a $15 book, her first appearance. All of a sudden, Disney Plus says, hey, you know what? We're going to make a miniseries out of it. And then now I sold 2 of them for $210 because everybody's all of a sudden going, oh, it's a Disney series now. It's a Disney Plus series. It's going to be popular. Part of that I think is a false inflation. I think you got a lot of dealers that are buying them up themselves and giving you a false sense of what it's really valued at because they want to corner that market. But even that being said, a book is still worth what you buy it for, and what it sells for.
A book's only worth what you sold it for.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that, you're going to see a lot of these books that weren't worth as much skyrocketing the minute they do hit the press, the minute they do hit, Walking Dead, #1, it's going for a crazy amount because of the TV show. Yep. And I think a lot of people are now looking for those niches. They know the next Batman won't be a niche. They know the next Superman comic may not be a niche. But this book over here might get picked up by Universal Studios, and then it will.
So does that translate then with the shop owners, right? Do they buy that inventory or sit on that inventory or spend, some of what's in their war chest or put aside something in a war chest for that potential, hey, we'll let it sit in our back issue bin for X amount of months because it could be something?
I think that's all depends on the shop owner. For me, I order what I think is going to hit, and I order what the people are looking for. But honestly, it's like playing stocks. It's a shot in the dark.
Right.
It really is. I compare buying comic books anymore to the stock market.
Right.
If you're buying it for an investment, because you never know what's going to be that next big hit.
Just a couple of weeks ago, that Captain Marvel 17 was going for like $60, and I just bought one for 16 the other day. That first file of L.
Yeah. Because it goes up and you got it going down. Like Gore. Gore was a $15 book, the premiere. All of a sudden they're like, hey, it's going to be a Marvel movie. It was going for $250, $300.
The even older stuff like Tomb of Dracula #10.
Yeah.
First appearance of Blade. A 9.6 is going for like $9,500 right now.
That's crazy.
And that used to be like a $300 book.
Yeah.
but it comes from the bump of the mainstream media stuff, right? What was that Captain America issue, the Kerwin Dwyer, where John Walker comes back as U.S. agent, and it's just a black cover with him saying, "I'm back." Prior to the miniseries, it was what a dollar book, right? It was in the dollar bins, and some places have it for $50-$60. There you go.
There you go, right there on my back wall.
There you go.
I got it for $50.
There you go,
sir. There you go. Well played,
$50-$60. Right.
So I got the other first appearance sitting on my wall there.
So let's expand out the question.
There's the other one.
Let's expand out the questions. So, I mean, obviously Johnny has his store, but what are you guys seeing in your local stores? Are you guys seeing more indie comics? Are you seeing less indie comics? I mean, what are you guys seeing?
That's what I got.
Nice.
There's
So, Brandon,
there's more indie comics in Kansas City shops for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like Comics Elite or whatever we got, Elite Comics.
Okay, we're supposed to just give out numbers. We don't promote these guys unless they get paid for it. No, I would say honestly, we have probably a good 12 comic books in stores in probably the Kansas City 100-mile radius.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's weird because I'm in New York City, right? And Midtown Comics.
You've got 12 comic books in a mile.
You know what I'm saying? But funny enough, the way they set up their shelves is so you got whatever 20 feet, 24 feet of space. I'm sorry, I come from retail, so I apologize if people don't. Right? You know, gondolas, wall space. It's divided into 4-foot increments, right? So they'll have 20 to 24 feet of space and 5 shelves down. First shelf on top, eye level, right? That is all the new stuff. But the second shelf down is all indie. And then the third shelf down is the week prior, whatever's left in inventory. And then the third week prior, and then the shelf on the floor is the one that's from the end of the month that's about to get cycled out and everything rotates down. But that indie shelf remains the same.
Bottom rack's about.
I can tell you the way I have mine is I have mine kind of in a column. I have DC, Marvel, and Indie because it's in alphabetical order.
Okay.
And then and I actually just keep all that stuff up there, and I stack the books behind. So I usually have about 4 months worth of books, like of each title, and then I start cycling them into the bins. But that way, you're keeping everything fresh. If somebody wants to grab a run, they got the whole run there. And then and for me, it keeps it fair because you got all 3 right next to each other all the way down.
Right.
Okay. I see that's how a lot of people tend to do it now. Whenever I go to the shop, that's the general layout.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Brandon, what are you seeing in your area?
Erie itself, just a 2 or 3 indie comics that they just kind of take on the local kind of people. Like, I'm in there along with another person, but the Ashtabula, Ohio area, I'm the gentleman who owns that store, Captain's Comics out there. He actually has a wide variety of indie comics, which is kind of cool. So it's not, I don't think it's so like common around me. I haven't seen it very much, so it's really just trying to, hopefully it ends up turning into something like that. Every time I've kind of, gotten Avalon out in other comics, it seems like it's elsewhere, deep into the States somewhere, I nowhere too, I gotta actually kind of go there, talk to them. And then they're like, okay, you're kind of local, we'll throw you in there, but they don't have a large variety of indie comics in their store. But
Gotcha. All right, Josh, I know you're tight for time, but real quick, what are you looking at? Like, how's your area looking as far as indie books?
Yeah, I used to be in a few shops up in Toledo, Ohio, but no longer. I think I'm in 4 or 5 shops down in the Columbus, Ohio area. Just a couple weeks ago, I had a shop from North Carolina order 60 books from me.
Oh, nice, good shit.
Yeah, that was quite the take. I was pretty thrilled. So and I cut them a pretty damn awesome deal. So,
cha-ching.
Nice.
Yeah.
Marcus, what about you? How's your area looking for indie comics? Like, how's your LCSs?
Area is pretty good. I mean, I'm based right out of LA area, so we got a lot of creators down here. We got a lot of people who are publishing indie, a lot of higher profile talent down here too. So it feels like most stores, as long as they got the space, are trying to make sure they have a good indie variety put aside for everybody. Some do better than most, but you can typically find, even if it's one of the larger indies like Boom or Image, pretty good selection for the rest of them. Then you find some of the smaller tier guys, some of the Source Points, and hopefully more guys like Odyssey Comics and things like that, and then we'll start getting into those spaces. So I think right now it's trending towards that, and usually if I'm in the shop, I'm buying indie. I might get the one or two mainstream things here and there, but as far as what I would like to read and what's going on, I think that's all coming from the indie space right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like an independent renaissance right now.
Yeah, man.
It's growing huge. It's like Johnny said. I mean, people care about these books, unlike Marvel and DC, where they're just doing it for a paycheck.
I actually had to sort of rebut someone on Twitter the other day because they said that indie comics are struggling. What does indie comics have to do to thrive? And I said I would argue that they're thriving already. You have more indie publishers than at any point in history. You have more indie creators than at any point in history. What you may see is some diminishing returns as the growth happens, but eventually everything coalesces and condenses back down too, as the people who weren't able to find a success on their own drop out, or maybe they get absorbed by other indie publishers and things like that. That's natural to every single business that comes out is a indicator of growth, not struggle. The important thing is that you're reaching your audience and you're having those personal successes where you can, as things are growing along, that you're able to also chart your own growth with whatever the indie comics are doing. But yeah, to say things are struggling, the Kickstarters may not be doing as gangbusters for you personally as they used to, but that doesn't indicate a condition of the industry as a whole.
No, not at all.
All right, gentlemen, we made it to hour 2, so we are done. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And listen, everybody, please, in the links below, everybody's link is in there, so you can click on those links. Go buy some books. Go buy some indie books. Go buy them. Buy them all. Buy them now. Buy them hard. Buy them heavy. There you go. Now, Johnny, please let everybody know where they can find you and your work, sir.
atrocitypress.com. You can find us out there. We're on Twitter, Facebook, all that. We got our website. And of course, right now, we got Mary Machine Gun Trade out there on Kickstarter.
All right, cool. Brandon?
You can find us on any social media platform right now. Alongside of that, you can we have a link tree connected to all of it, so you can find us all on that link tree. We obviously have our Kickstarter that's live right now. We kind of want to pump through and get that going. And we're hoping to get our website launched in July, so just stay tuned for that.
Nice. Max?
You can find me at atrocitypress.com. We've got all the stuff there that's the news for Atrocity Press. It hits the website like a week before it hits social media. It's got all of our social media links. It's got all of our merchandise links. You can get all of our t-shirts and our digital books right now. We're going to put physical books up soon. We've just got to get through these fulfillments so we know exactly how many we have left. We don't want to sell books we don't have, because that would suck.
Yes.
Having to make another order just to fulfill one book.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yep.
Josh, where can they find you and your work, sir?
Yeah, I mean, people are smart. Just Google Cutthroat Comics. We got cutthroatcomics.com, Facebook, Twitter, cutthroat_comics on Instagram. I've been doing a lot more on TikTok recently, trying to build that up. It's fun.
All right, cool. Marcus, where can they find you and your work, sir?
Easy enough. Go to odysseycomics.com. Takes you from there. If you want to follow us on Twitter or the social links, it's usually comics_Odyssey or Odyssey Comics Official.
All right, cool. Mr. Rosario, where can they find you?
UnstoppableComics.com, folks. All roads for me lead to and from Unstoppable Comics. You can find all of our social media links on that website.
All right, cool. Well, I'm JD Calderon. You can find me here almost every Sunday. Not next Sunday because I'm taking a break, but I'll be back on the 25th with Mr.
The hell is
Rosario. He's
that?
going to also
A
be
break?
back.
A break.
Hey, listen, a break. It has to happen once in a while.
What the hell is that
You know what I'm
shit?
saying? He's such a bitch.
I know. I'm lazy as fuck is what it is. You know?
Quitter.
Exactly. You know, there it is. Damn it. Last time we were fighting you motherfuckers. No, I'm only joking.
Nice.
But you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all these different places, theoswaldcarters.com, all under JD Calderon. And please hit like, hit subscribe. And again, please go to those links on the bottom, click on those links. Everybody's links are there, so you can go to their campaign, support those books. And like I said, I've always said before, buy more indie comics, especially ours. Guys, have a good night. Thank you so much. All of you are awesome.
Peace.
I'll be talking to you all soon.
Peace.
Peace.